Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to WCW Nitro Retro Review. Whoa, that sounded a little weird. Nitro Retro Review. All right, well, welcome to the August 19th, 1996 episode review for WCW Monday Night Retro. Now, getting into things. This episode, just to give you a little overall emphasis of what my opinion was after watching it from yesterday. It was actually a decent, okay show. It had a nice little build-up towards the coming pay-per-view called Fall Brawl, where they're leading up to the NWO collectively going up against two men by the names of Sting and Lex Luger. And Lex Luger pretty much and Sting go about through this episode trying to recruit two men from the Four Horsemen, which later is revealed. Now, the matches overall was not too impressed by this episode. I did not particularly like some of the matches that were on the card. They didn't really lead to anything important. Some of the matches were good, but most of them were pretty much garbage. I did not like them too much, so it wasn't a very good in-ring performance episode done by the men in this in this show. So starting things off, Jim Duggan versus BK Wall Street, formerly known as the IRS and WWF, loses to Jim Duggan in 5 minutes and 28 seconds. The action was pretty self-explanatory, pretty slow, dull. Nothing extraordinary happened here. Jim Duggan later on expressed his dislike towards the NWO and how Hulk Hogan really has turned his back on all the values that he considered important, and is just completely contradict himself in a way that is just kind of messed up and ridiculous what he did and going about joining the NWO. So that portion of Jim Duggan after his match was over was actually pretty good. I like the fact that what he had to say. The match itself, though, I could have lived without. It was not all that extraordinarily interesting. Chris Benoit defeated Earl Robert, Eaton, and this match, pretty technical wrestling involved here as usual. Chris Benoit back in the day. He did walk away defeating him in 4 minutes. Nothing major happened here. Match itself, going back to Jim Duggan and BK Wall Street, I'd say the match was about a 2.5 out of 5 stars. Chris Benoit versus Earl Robert Eaton, I'd say that was a 3 because of the technical wrestling involved. Scott Norton defeated Disco Inferno. Woo, who the fuck cares about either one of these two? I give it a dud. Completely, utterly boring, dumb as shit. Nothing really happened there. We also had a match. Before that, we also had a segment with Sting and Lex Luger where they said, hey, we got a surprise. We're going to be recruiting somebody from the Four Horsemen. We're not revealing who that may be yet, but we're going to go out there and we're going to talk to them directly to get a yay or nay on the situation. So that's pretty much what happened there. Again, as I said, there was a nice little build-up towards the main event leading for Fall Brawl, but nothing else really technically happened on this episode. Dean Malenko versus Lord Stephen William, formerly a.k.a. William Regal, had an outstanding match. This was definitely a well-performed, well-put-together match. A lot of great technical wrestling involved. I give it a 4 out of 5 stars. These two men put on an excellent match. Very enjoyable and a lot of fun to watch. And a lot of good action occurred in this match. The Nasty Boys defeating the Public Enemy. 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Nothing extraordinary happened here. Nasty Boys pretty much had a brawl with Public Enemy, and that was pretty much it. So pretty basic, straight to the point kind of stuff. We had Chavo Guerrero and Diamond Dallas Page with an upset victory. Chavo Guerrero beats Diamond Dallas Page. Chavo Guerrero and DDP had a great match with each other. Really enjoyed this one. It definitely was well worth the time, and worth All right, ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize about that. There was a difficulty with the internet right there. It kind of went off. So I do apologize about the hold on that. But here we go. I was in the midst of talking about Harlem Heat defeating the American males, Marcus Alexander Bagwell and Scotty Riggs. with the tag team titles on the line. They mentioned a year ago that in 1995, the American males actually defeated Harlem Heat, and the action went back and forth, and it looked like the American males were going to pull off the victory. One of their managers, it was Colonel Robert Parker, who interfered in the middle of this match, distracted one of the American male tag team opponents, and the match ended because Booker T climbed on the top rope, hit the drop kick, and got the 1, 2, 3, and that was the end of that match. Then Sting and what's his name, Lex Luger, not very important character whatsoever, nor was he a good wrestler to begin with, so who fucking cares about him? But anyway, Sting and Lex Luger went about calling out Ric Flair and Arn Anderson. Those were the two men that they wanted to recruit for this Fall Brawl War Games match. And Ric Flair and Arn Anderson answered their call. Chris Benoit and Steve, he was a former football player on the Chicago Bears who won the 1985 Super Bowl championship. Steve McMichael, that's his name. Steve Mongo is what they called him. And he went about pretty much saying, Chris Benoit and Steve McMichael went on to say, hey, you know what? If you guys are behind this, you guys want to do it, man. Because the NWO is an absolute load of crap. Neither one of the teams trusts each other, like each other going into this pay-per-view. But they both have the same dislike towards the NWO, so they value the same exact thing when it comes to the NWO. So they want to take them down at Fall Brawl, and they decided to join as a team to compete in the War Games match. I like the build. I like how it felt very authentic. It felt more like a sport. It felt like real scenarios, and that's what was good about WCW back in the day, especially in 1996 when they started the NWO. There was a lot of good things that were happening with the NWO, WCW. There was real-life situations they went about doing, and it just felt more authentic and worth people's time than watching joked-out kiddie wrestling show like WWF back in the day. Until later on they started getting the hint that people didn't want their intelligence insulted. Kind of like how people don't want their intelligence insulted now. Unfortunately, they've gone backwards and decided to go back to doing that. But anyway, that's not important. This is about retro review for Monday night for WCW Nitro. The main event was a joke. This was the bad thing that WCW did on this episode that I did not like. They had the Giant and Randy Savage end up being in a no contest disqualification, and it was an all-out brawl. Randy Savage hit the Giant with steel chairs from behind, beat his ass, and that was pretty much it. Overall, the whole entire thing was just a complete and utter waste. There was nothing important that happened here, and it kind of left it very hollow and very bad. Truth of the matter is, this match should have happened before Sting and Lex Luger coming out to offer or issue a opportunity to the Four Horsemen to get even with the NWO and Fall Brawl. So bad booking there on that portion of the show, but overall the show wasn't bad. I definitely, and I forgot to give some ratings here for the Nasty Boys, Public Enemy. That match I'd say was a 2. Chavo Guerrero and Diamond Dallas Page was a 3.5. Harlem Heat and American Males for the WCW Tag Team titles 3. And Giant and Randy Savage, you give it a big fat 0 for horrible effort and horrible main event match. So all around, the show wasn't all that bad. It was okay for a 2-hour Monday Night Retro show. So I wasn't too disappointed with it. It just had some bad portions of it that should have been cut or fixed. But overall, the show was not bad whatsoever. So in my overall opinion, I give the show a 3 out of 5 stars. Pretty average, okay show. Well worth anyone's time to watch, and definitely had a good build-up for the main event for Fall Brawl. Anyway, at this time, lay the smackdown on that subscribe button and leave any comments and opinions down below about the episode. If you guys like this video, hit that like button and shove it directly up Vincent Mann's ass. Because he's a fucking retard and he doesn't know how to produce a good show anymore. Anyway, I'm out. Thank you very much for watching and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.